There was a poster up asking for volunteers for Vietnam. And that is what I really had set out to do from the beginning. I wanted to go to Vietnam. I wanted to be a part of history. I wanted to see it for myself. So I filled out the paperwork. And one of the things that I had to attest to was that I was not an only surviving son. And that's what I said. I said I was not an only surviving son, which was a lie, because I was the only surviving son of, I was the only male left in the Kirkpatrick line. Time passed, and I hadn't heard anything, so I didn't know whether it had been accepted or not. One Sunday, I did what I liked to do most on weekends, and that was go to Seoul. I would go by myself and just walk through the marketplaces. I had a taxi cab book that had Korean attractions written in Korean on one side and English on the other. And so it was a really neat way to get around. While I was walking around, I met two soldiers that I didn't know and started talking to them. And it was their first time to Seoul. So I became their tour guide for the day, and we became good friends just in that short time in that day. The very next Sunday, I was on duty at our aid station when I got a call for an accident, a Jeep accident. So I got in my ambulance, drove to the scene. There was a group of guys already assembled, and we all ran down the hill and uprighted this Jeep and pulled the driver out. I checked for a pulse, and it was really faint. So we got him loaded on the ambulance, and I started giving him CPR, and someone else volunteered to drive the ambulance to the emergency room. When we got to the emergency room, they pronounced him dead. And it was then that I realized that the guy I just gave CPR to and died was one of the soldiers that I had met the Sunday before in Seoul. This experience really shook me up. I started questioning whether I wanted to go to Vietnam, thinking now that I was going to probably be facing more situations like this and facing death. When I got back to the aid station, I was totally filthy from head to toe. And then they gave me my orders for Vietnam. I was to leave the next day.